exciting day. It's the first day of the NCAA tournament. And I hope you learned this lesson. The lesson is very simple. If you're going to order pizza for your coworkers, understand that they're going to be little bitches about it. And they're going to say, this isn't good enough, or this isn't big enough, or you didn't give me enough pizza. Wah, wah, wah,
Wait,
wah.
are you talking about pizza or something else?
Well, if you recall, and welcome to the show, Evan and Tiki on the Fan. We got a lot to get to. We'll get you set for the St. John's game later tonight. We'll keep you posted on the tournament. Obviously, the games are on the AM side. We're here on the FM side. There's some baseball to get to, some football to get to. But a few days ago, Tiki and I had a discussion, and that was, hey, should we continue the Mike and the Mad Dog into Mike tradition of bringing pizza for the NCAA tournament? And the concern that both Tiki and I had was nobody works anymore. People are at home.
Especially on the first day of the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Not including the first four, obviously.
That's right.
No disrespect.
Like in 1999 and in 2007, this building, or the old building, would be packed with people. So we had this discussion on the air, full transparency. I'm afraid we'll buy pizza and there won't be enough. So that was going through my mind earlier this morning when I woke up and said, boy, I should take care of that whole pizza thing. So I decided to go on the little Grubhub app, and I find a pizza place that's on my way here to the WFAN studios. And I figure, and this is where, you tell me if I'm wrong, I figured 3 pies seems like a good amount. Now, let's start right there.
Now,
Is that too little, Teak?
Can I back up real quick?
Of course.
Because your first mistake was going to the Grubhub app. Your first mistake was not going to someplace that you knew had good pizza.
So here's the problem, Teak. I have no knowledge. It's like asking a child to swim in the deep end.
Okay, you need to go to Yelp then.
Okay.
You need to go. You need to do some investigation. You need to call up everybody who's been around this building or this area of Southern New York for a while and ask, where is the best pizza? That was mistake number one.
That is mistake number one.
Mistake number two is going 3 pies. Because there's some people in here, I don't know, it's not the glass, they'd probably eat a pie by themselves.
Got that, Connor?
That is fair.
So 3 is definitely not enough.
So my partner Tiki calling me out, which is fair. I admit it. I'll take my L's when I need it. But here's where things got dicey. So I order the 3 pies. I try to be creative about it. I go a little buffalo chicken, a little
delicious
marinara, or whatever the hell it's called. Margarita.
Yes.
See, this is the problem. You brought a child to do an adult's job. So I order the 3 pies, and it's in the middle of New York City. I'm not going to name the location. They don't deserve any blame. This is just about me and my decisions, and I respect that. But where I was picking up the pizza in the beautiful island of Manhattan, there was no parking. So I pull up right in front. I put those little double blinkers on, also known as hazards, and I sprint to the pizzeria. And I walk in there, and I'm all excited, like, look at me, getting my 3 pies. Look at me, really being nice for the radio station. This is fantastic. No one even asked me to do this. I'm doing this. And I walk in, and these pies were the size of my Met's Bible, the book I wrote. And I see this, and my reaction was, what the hell is going on? But I got to take the pies and I got to leave because my car is double parked right in front. And I don't want to be the jackass who gets towed or the jackass who gets beaten up because their car is blocking another car. So I take the 3 pies, I run inside, I come straight to work. And I'm like, all right, I got to figure this part out. I guess I should order more pizza. I don't know. But whatever. I don't know how many people are here. Maybe this will be enough.
Right.
I even jokingly said to my dear, dear friend Sal Licata, I wonder if this is too much pizza. To which that...
And did he laugh at you just like that?
Two-Face Sal looked at me and said, I think it's going to run out. And I'm like, you think so? Little did I know that about 5 minutes later, my dear friend Sal Licata would express his disgust with my pizza selections by, first of all, saying this.
Like, if you're going to do it, Ev, do it like a man would. Do it like Mike would. I mean, order some pies for the guys here, for good's sake. 3 little personal pizzas? I mean, what do we do?
Well, let me start with the personal pizzas. They weren't personal pizzas.
They were definitely bigger than Sal gave him credit for.
Were they big enough? No, because my first reaction when I went to pick it up was, these are too small. But you can't call it a personal pizza. That's number one.
No, you can't. personal pizzas are like bite-sized.
No, these were traditional New York style medium-sized pies. That's what they were.
And you know what also threw me off?
Hold on, did you order medium or did you order large?
I don't know what the hell I ordered.
He ordered medium. That's it, Sean. He ordered medium.
But the only problem I have with that, Tiki, is any pizza place you call, unless, and we don't want to sell this place out, goes with, unless you tell them differently, they're large pies.
You would think they would, because that puts more money in their pocket.
Right. So they are assuming large unless you express medium. Did the words medium come out of your mouth?
I'm good. First of all, it was all done via an app, so I didn't say anything.
Technology,
I gave you 2 wrongs first. You didn't know the place that you were ordering from.
Right.
Some people eat a pie himself. With 3 wasn't enough. The last one, maybe not the last one, but the next one, you gotta pick up the phone and talk to people.
Now you're right.
It's the problem with our society these days.
You're right.
My wife is this way. She's like, can you just order? I'm like, just call the diner. It's you. They know you. We go there every other weekend. Just pick up the phone and call the diner.
You're not wrong.
I don't want to talk to anybody.
I felt the same way.
Come on.
And the other thing that threw me off was the price. When you buy 3 pies and it comes out to $98, you figure those are big-ass pies. Little did I realize they were tiny.
All right, next problem. You got robbed. You didn't say anything about it.
That's why I'm not naming the place. Now, I will give them credit. So I bring the 3 pies in. I know they're too small. I understand. But I'm also trying to figure out multiple things. A, I'm trying to figure out, is anybody actually going to come to work today? That's number 1. Mm-hmm. And number 2.
That's fair.
Where am I now going to get these pies? So luckily, and I do want to thank someone specifically, I got shamed by people, and that's okay. And it's not just Sal on the radio, as you may have heard for the last couple of hours. There were people behind the scenes that came up to me and said, Evan, we really appreciate the fact that you bought pizzas, but what the F? So I enlisted someone who works here, a guy who's a legend around here. He used to work with Joe B, used to work with me and Joe B, used to work with Mike, the great Ray Martell, who
was my first producer.
He was your first producer, who I think he would be okay for with me saying this, a little bit of a fat ass.
The only reason he's here today is because it's the first day of the tournament and he expected free pizza. Otherwise, he would be one of these people.
So I went to Ray, I gave him my credit card, and I said, Ray, can you fix this? And Ray said, of course, I'll go out and fix this. So we did get more pies, but that was after taking a beating from my fellow FAN coworkers. In fact, Connor, do you have another example of my dear friend Sal Licata turning on me?
Part of me does feel bad, only because...
No, you don't.
No, I do, only
no,
because...
you don't.
BT, trust me, because when I saw him show up with that, I was thinking, what the hell is this? But he's thinking like, oh, here I am, supplying the, and I didn't have the heart to say it to his face. But after getting multiple complaints from different sources throughout the building, I felt the need, I had to bring it up on the air.
I'm happy that you did. I could just see him, proud as a peacock, swooping in, the Superman, saving the day, and now we just got pounded for 8 minutes on his own station.
He had a slice in his mouth. Dude, proud of a peacock doesn't do it justice. He had a slice in his mouth. He's going, oh, buffalo chicken pizza. Danielle McCarl was walking around. He goes, oh, go grab some pizza. And I'm thinking, if she grabs some pizza, we're going to be out in 10 minutes.
The reason I was so proud is because the pizza tasted good. So despite me being ripped off, and despite it being smaller than I thought, like that buffalo chicken, and I only had 1 slice, okay? So it's not like I pigged out. Poor Sean had 0 slices.
That's not true.
You actually had time to get slices?
I had 2 slices.
Of the old pizza, of the first pizza, or the
first
new
pizza? Because despite popular belief, there was still plenty of pizza when I arrived at 12:40 today.
Oh, it's not bad. You know what? That makes me feel better. So it wasn't all gone before the game started.
No.
Which pizza did you have? Did you go buffalo chick?
No, the only thing left was the margarita, which is a favorite of mine. The tomato's good on it, not a lot of extra sauce. I thought it was fine.
Well, that's the thing. The pizza tasted good. So the reason, because Sal is telling the truth, that I was kind of peacocking a little bit was because I was like, damn, I picked some good pizza.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I believe that Ray Martell has wasted money on your credit card.
Why is that?
The pizza he has since ordered is just sitting there because it is, to quote me, unedible.
Really?
It is awful.
Is it like
you got to
just cheese bad?
You got to see the undercarriage is as pasty as my butt cheek on a February afternoon.
They didn't even fry it.
It is brutal looking.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not going to complain anyway because you shouldn't have had to do that to begin with, Ev.
You know what? I bet
Ray worsened the problem.
I bet Ray said, "You got to get it here right away. This is an emergency. It needs to be here immediately." And as a result, they just kind of fast a flash, I don't know, baked it.
Well, that's disappointing because part of my strategy when I handed my credit card blindly to Ray Martell was I'm going to give it to an expert. Like I heard a caller earlier to the midday show who actually defended me by ripping Sal, saying, hey, Sal, you're an Italian. You should have taken care of this yourself. Don't let it, he didn't use these words, but I will. Don't let a child like Evan, who's knows nothing about food, handle this kind of business.
Which he's right about.
Which he's right about. And that's why I even said to Ray, handle this. I'm going to be the money guy. Like I'm the owner of the baseball team. Like I'm Steve Cohen hiring David Stearns. Like I'm the head of St. John saying, here's Rick Pitino, take the job. I'm going to give my money to somebody who's smart. Go take care of it. And honestly, that's the lesson I learned. The lesson I learned is from now on, it's going to be you, Sean, because you're plumpish. I'm just going to hand you my credit card and say, take care of business.
Evan, I would have no problem doing this. For the record, again, I'm still kind of fresh and we're from vacation. I had no idea you were doing this, which I think was a great gesture. I thought you took way too many slings and arrows. There are a couple of things that have bothered me about this.
Go ahead.
I heard it from Sal in one of those clips, and I've heard it a lot in the newsroom. Well, when Mike was here, this is like saying if George was still alive, what would the Yankees do?
Mike ain't here.
With all due respect to Mike, he ain't here. It's a new world. It's a new world we're living in. And when Mike was here, there would be people I didn't even know who worked here who fled downstairs to rob Mike of his wallet just to eat his free pizza. So get that take out of here. Number two, Sal can't complain. The fat asses like Pete Hoffman can't complain if they're the ones gobbling it down, telling you there's too little or it's not good enough or they didn't reach in their pocket.
Right. You didn't have to spend $12 for lunch today.
And lastly, people know who people are. Evan, you're a great broadcaster. You're a great sports talk host. You're not an entertainer. We've been over this. You don't know how to cook your own food. Your father-in-law does it for you.
Right.
It's just not your strength.
Right. When we go to socialize at sporting events, you sit in the corner.
Yeah, and you've said it numerous times.
Drink half a light beer.
Me and Tiki come off weekends and it'll be so-and-so was at our house over the weekend. Evan, that's not the life you live and you shouldn't apologize for that. You're not an entertainer. You're an entertainer on a microphone. You're not an entertainer in terms of that. Putting you in charge of that is setting you up to fail. You did a good gesture, and somebody like Sal Licata talking out of his ass screwed you publicly, and I don't appreciate it. Next time, let me and Tiki handle it. You want to pay? Great. I'll put the card in. There'll be more than enough pies here the right size.
Well, thank you, Sean. That was very nice of you.
What are we doing here?
I do agree that, unfortunately, at this radio station, I had to step up and be the guy, and I'm ill-equipped because I know nothing about food. I know nothing about, being an entertainer in terms of come over my house, here's some great food. In fact, my wife hates it because she knows I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
I don't talk to people, or at least I try to talk to people, and then things are very awkward.
This is what you get for not consulting me, Evan.
Yeah, that was the other thing I screwed up.
Now,
because you were taking some shrapnel, like, what about Tiki? What about Tiki? Let me publicly defend Tiki Barber.
I was running 3 miles and doing squats and deadlifts.
I know.
I didn't know any of this was going on.
the opposite of pizza.
I never reached out to you to say, hey, T, can you help me? I was doing it all on my own. I didn't want to bother you. So you deserve no shrapnel here because the only conversation we had about pizza was on the radio 2 days ago.
Right.
And then you probably forgot about it.
Evan,
I actually did forget about it.
and let this be a life
I didn't
lesson
do my
to you.
bracket. I actually put the bracket in until about 3 hours ago.
Well, you beat some people. Evan, going forward, simple rule to live by. At a minimum, you just got to do the math of an average of 2 slices per person. Before you see how many people were working, you knew there were 4 today, you knew there were 4 in the midday show, and you knew there were bosses. At a minimum, a bare minimum, you're talking about 4 pies. So that's where you screw up there.
I now know for the future. We'll get to your calls because I know that this situation I have faced is something that a lot of people have also faced.
You ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
There's an expectation of
You must be popping in.
to supply food, to supply pizza, to supply something for a big Super Bowl party, for a big NCAA tournament party, and for whatever reason, you think you did a good job, and everyone thinks you're a jackass. We'll get to your calls at 888-808-1019. Plus, while ripping me, something absolutely egregious was said about pizza. We address it. We also try to figure out why Sean Morash, and I did not know this until today, why does Sean Morash hate St. John's and is rooting for their hell to face them tonight in a historic upset? We will get to the bottom of it.
Jeez.
Plus, we explored Josh Hart deciding to make excuses last night for the Knicks no-show effort.
Plus, a Yankee bat has been taken off the market.
Plus, a Yankee bat is off the market. For afternoon drive history in WFAN. We are privileged to be working an afternoon drive. But let me take you behind the curtain a little bit. If you guys think we're making what Mike made, you got another thing coming.
I think if we added up our 3 salaries, we still wouldn't even get to Mike.
No, you're right.
It wouldn't even get to half of it.
You're right.
So for every...
I'm the best there is.
I agree. So for everyone who's like, well, Mike would have done that, it was a little bit different.
And he probably got him free, like Craig.
That, you know what? That may be true. I didn't even think about that. I take that for granted all those years.
I don't think he did, but
I
nonetheless.
don't think he did either. But we can go with it. We can just assume maybe it happened. By the way, Ray Martell, come in here for a second. So Ray Martell is a guy who's been at this station for a very long time. Yeah, come on in. I got to read you the riot act. I handed Ray my credit card and said, make this right, which I appreciate. People are upset that the quality of pizza you got sucks. Can you defend yourself on this?
It's my guy Antonio.
You're throwing him under the bus?
Hey, I think he makes great pizza. I loved it.
Everyone else thinks it tastes like cardboard.
Oh, that's them.
I gave you a blank check. You could have gotten
And then, all right, so you give me a blank check. Okay, fine. Give me a blank check. If I would have came back with, I could pick, the most god-awesome pizza out there, all right?
Yes.
And all of a sudden you get the bill, you would have been like, oh, I didn't say Ray could spend that much money.
Hold on.
You would be.
Tom Izzo, get onto a microphone. Tom Izzo, he does a great job behind the scenes, and I know it is not the head coach of Michigan State. Tom was in the room with us when I handed Ray the credit card. Did I ever put a cap on how much Ray could spend?
No, man, he gave you a golden ticket. You blew it. You blew it.
Thank
He
you.
gave you a blank check.
I said I was not going to spend a lot because I was a friend of yours and didn't want to do that. And it's good pizza. I like it, and other people like it. The people I brought it to that would, didn't want to walk down here to embarrass themselves because I don't mind doing it, they loved it. So, you know what? Everybody's got pizza. My bracket's doing well. It's a great day.
Right. Thank you, Ray. I do appreciate it. Ray Martell, ladies and gentlemen. But he did have a golden ticket. He could have done anything with that.
Ray, you screwed us. You screwed everybody at WFAN. You screwed the history of the fan.
Wow.
You stepped on tradition, Ray. You really got us, Ray.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, thanks.
The great Tom Izzo. Let's go to Chris in Bayshore. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, hey guys, how are you?
Good. What's up,
man?
Listen, Evan, I got to come to your defense a little bit. I think I can't get on you for making that effort. It was doing the right thing. I think based on your food history, however, the lack of tip and the sweet and things like that, and going to a site to order pizza. I mean, you gotta have a personal pizza guy. I mean, everybody does.
I gotta have a personal pizza guy. You're right. By the way, I still take heat for the tip and a sweet story. I will go to my grave defending myself on this. There was a suite. I was not the host of the suite. I was not the owner of the suite. I was in a suite, and somehow I got blamed for not tipping in said suite.
No,
a suite that I had no control over.
Was the owner of the suite with you?
I don't even know.
Oh, so then you don't know? Then it's not your responsibility.
I only got heat.
You're just a guest.
I was a guest. I only got heat because Boomer put it on me, and once he said it, it just became fact.
Yeah.
But I still get heat for that kind of story. And trust me, there's a lot of things I deserve heat for. Like, I heard a caller earlier today ripping me for bringing a tuna sandwich to a Met game or a Brooklyn Nets game. That's all real. That's all legit. I own that. I completely own that. No question. By the way, it is now 2:38. Can we now discuss the most egregious thing that happened here at WFAN today? You think it had to do with me and pizza? You're dead wrong. Because I promise you this, when we come back, you will be aggrieved.